Hello and welcome to another Above It All program. Today is today I'm going to be doing a news show. This is what this is. This is a news show. I talk about news. Well, that and also I what the fucking it's a new it's a new show. Today is a day that we do a new show. It's a new show, or is it a news ho? Wait. New show. Yeah. So, today I'm going to be talking about the House of Reps. I don't know if you've heard of it. There's a house and a bunch of reps are there. It's a house. It's a house of reps. And there was apparently some news regarding the House of Reps. Kevin McCarthy, the beta male that he is resigning from being a rep in the House of Reps. I should also throw out there that George Santos got expelled. Now, I just want to say not voted to expel Santos. He's too funny. Let's be honest. He's too funny. Expel one of the other freak show Republicans. I mean, they're all the fucking same anyway. Why expel the funny one? But just, that's just my opinion. But I guess we have a video of an empty chair here. But there he is. I don't really feel like listening to what he's got to say. The resignation of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. You ever notice that it kind of like the McCarthy? It sounds like someone's stuttering, right? Because there's two C's. Because it's not McCarthy. That's one C. There's two C's. McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is resigning, combined with other expected resignations and the recent expulsion of former rep George Santos, shines a spotlight on the math problems. Anyway, I'm not going to read this because I don't really care. But essentially what's happening is Kevin McCarthy is resigning, probably because of low testosterone or something related to that. And I think that's kind of funny. That's why I usually, would skip this kind of stuff. But George Santos got expelled. That's also, I would have voted to keep him. But him being expelled is also really funny, too. Like George Santos, that whole saga. Like, I really hope we get a documentary about that guy. Because holy man. Ooh, right, that is some funny ass shit. But the Republicans, without any elections, are seemingly losing the House. They're like, an election is not happening and the Republicans are losing the House. Like, their lead is dwindling. And that's funny. I don't know. That's kind of funny, right? Look at this guy. Ugh. Look at his eyeballs. Look at him. He looks like he's... Well, I don't want to tell you what he looks like, but... I think that this whole thing is extremely hilarious to me. My opinion is that once the Republicans won the House in the first place, that any semblance of anything decent coming out of the government's over. Because they're going to block anything decent. and they just push Joe Biden and the Democrats to the right, and that's exactly what's been happening. But hey, it looks like the Republican majority might not even last to the next election. So if that's the case, I might actually have faith in the government to do something. Are they going to fix everything? No. But they might do something if Republicans don't control the House. But, it seems to me like we still got a couple of dominoes left to fall until that becomes relevant. But there you go. So Kevin McCarthy is resigning. Is he resigning in disgrace? You ever hear that term, like Nixon resigning in disgrace? Because he should. He's the biggest loser of the Republican Party since Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is huge. That motherfucker's like almost 300 pounds. It's a pretty big loser. But while we're talking about Republicans, I've had a lot of people question me. Not that many people. On why I'm not covering these debates. This has come up as a topic on the Left Past 10 collaboratory program. And I'm going to go on a soliloquy here on the subject of why I'm not covering these debates. Well, one, they're not debates. No one is debating anything. A debate are two or more people exchanging ideas and talking about them at length. These are not debates. I would go as far as to say that any presidential debate I've watched, at least that's contemporary to an election that's going on, like I've watched debates back in like the 60s and 70s and stuff, and that's, there's a little actually debating going on. Even into the 90s, there was some form of actual debating happening at these debates. But really, in my entire adult life, they've never really been debates. It's mostly just like two or more people scream at the audience what their platform is and then like make wisecracks at one another. That's not a debate. Now, I know we live in fucked upville, and so words have no definitions, right? So a debate is just people getting up there and selling their book and TV show, and it's called a debate. Like, it's a 2-hour commercial, but they just put the word debate, they just slap it on there, like with fucking masking tape and Sharpie. They just put debate, slap it on that fucking shit. It's a 2-hour commercial. It's a bunch, and look at this fucking photo, by the way. Look at this, like, so the silhouette of the guy walking. Oh my God. I mean, the whole thing is a clown show. Donald Trump has already won the primary. And he's not showing up to the debates. If Donald Trump were at the debates, it would be a different conversation, right? If he were actually there. But the nominee is not actually debating. So what are the debates? It's a bunch of people polling at 3% selling their books. That's what it is. It's like 5 or 6 or more, I don't know how many are there, are just going up there and selling their books. Why are people watching that? Are you so starved for content that you're watching this shit? Now, a lot of people have said, oh, it's good to keep tabs on these characters. I agree. And I really don't think watching a debate is doing that. I really don't. Like, if you want to keep tabs on these motherfuckers, read exposés about where their money comes from. Read their books or whatever. Obviously pirate the ebook or whatever. Don't give them money. But also, like, at the end of the day, do you really even need to know, like, the minutia here? Like, I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Is the difference between Vivek Ramaswamy and fucking Ron DeSantis, is there really that much of a difference that we need to be spending hours of our lives teasing out the slight, like, they're fucking Republicans, right? It's like going to a neo-Nazi convention and then like, ooh, I wonder which neo-Nazi is the most interesting and has the coolest ideas. Like, I'm personally not that interested. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I just don't give a fuck. I feel like people are just covering these debates because it's like a tradition. Like, they're following the script. They don't want to get out of line. They've been waiting in line, following the same kind of script, and they don't want to, like, come up with something else to talk about. But really, this, blows my mind. Now, if Donald Trump were there, I would watch it. I mean, he's still the nominee regardless, but it would be worth watching just to see what Trump says. In the same way that if there's a Democratic debate, it would be worth watching if Joe Biden is there. I probably wouldn't watch a Democratic debate between fucking Marianne Williamson, Cenk Uygur, and Dean Phillips. Why would anyone watch that? You know, they're all fucking competing over, like, who gets 3%. You know, like, what the fuck? But if the nominee is going to be there, well, then there's something worthwhile. I think it's worthwhile to know what Trump is going to be saying, or Joe Biden is going to be saying, given that these are the nominees that we're dealing with. But when you're having these so-called debates where a bunch of people collectively polling at negative 16% are just going up there saying, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. I mean, come on. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not saying you shouldn't know the names of the people running for president. But what I'm saying is you really need to, like, what do you learn? I mean, I'm serious. What do you learn about watching, like, a 2-hour commercial of Republicans, like saying, no, I want to kill 100,000 innocent civilians in Gaza. I want to do a ground invasion and kill 150,000 innocent civilians in Gaza. I want to nuke Gaza. Is this really, like, I don't know. Like, can't you be doing something better? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. So people have been asking me why I'm so anti-debate this season. Normally I'm pro-debate. I love this shit. But there's nothing here this season. There's no debates. Like, I would love to watch a debate. I would love to watch a Republican presidential primary debate. There are none. There haven't been any because the motherfucker polling at like 70% is not showing up. So what are they debating? I would love to watch a Democratic debate. But there are none. And if they did one without Joe Biden, what the fuck would that be for? It's just a commercial for Marianne's book, for Cenk's book. I don't know if Dean Phillips has a book. He probably has a book. They all got books. So that's my opinion on the debates. To be honest with you, I mean, like, you know, I'm sitting up here saying, like, fucking zero sum, man. You got to be studying, grind set. You got to be reading books all day, every day. You can't sacrifice 2 hours for this debate. But, you know, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying, like, if you got 2 hours to waste, watch a goddamn movie. Watch fucking Toy Story 2, for Christ's sake. I mean, you're going to be learning more about the human condition watching any kind of fucking goddamn movie than watching the Republican fucking primary debate, so-called. Give me a goddamn. I mean, fuck. I mean, like, take a nap. Catch up on sleep. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just telling you, like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care. So, we're going to be talking about Israel coming up here in a moment. I know everyone loves Israel. But we're also going to be talking about how the Jewish population feels. Yeah. The Jewish population. Well, I got two articles here that I want to juxtapose. Concerned and afraid. Jews celebrate Hanukkah amid rise in hate. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really seen a rise of anti-Semitism in this country. I like how it just cuts to the fucking, get this shit away from me. I don't want to see this. Let me refresh the page. I just fucking did a whole thing. I don't want to see that shit. All right, let's, this video is just going to start auto-playing if I can't, like, click it and pause it. Anyway, now, am I going to sit here and say that there's no anti-Semitism? Of course not. There's a lot. But the media manufactured narrative of criticizing Israel equals anti-Semitism is something I'm pushing back against. Now, is it possible that anti-Zionist Jewish people are being disproportionately targeted by just regular anti-Semites or whatever who are taking this situation? It's a situation, yeah, we can call it that. To their advantage to just be anti-Semitic in public or whatever. It's possible. I'm open to that. In fact, I think that that's likely. But articles like this are fueling a narrative that, like, there's this extreme rise of anti-Semitism or whatever, when 99% of it that they're calling anti-Semitic, 99% of it is like, hey, maybe you shouldn't kill 20,000 innocent people that had nothing to do with anything. Like, if you say killing kids is bad, actually, anti-Semite. And I'm not a Jew. Though, if they would accept me into the tribe, I would consider it. But there are Jewish people that also don't think killing innocent babies is good, actually. And check this out. This is from NBC. We got ABC and NBC. Battle of the BCs. Hundreds of Jewish organization staffers call for White House to back Gaza's ceasefire. More than 500 employees of dozens of synagogues and Jewish groups signed a letter calling for a ceasefire, most signed anonymously for fear of their jobs. So again, you can read this article. Now, I don't want to sit here and say that, like, because there's a lot of anti-Zionist Jewish people that are afraid of what's happening because Israel is acting like Nazi Germany 2.0. I'll say this on every show every week. Adolf Hitler jerks off in heaven every night because he's in heaven, by the way. Because if you're a fucking Christian, you believe that you could just go like, yeah, buddy, yeah, oh, Jesus. And then you just go back up to heaven no matter what. So he's definitely in heaven. I'm sorry, if that upsets you, maybe you should think about how, I don't know, the whole thing is fucking stupid. Maybe the whole religion thing is fucking stupid. If the concept of Adolf Hitler being in heaven upsets you, I don't know. But anyway, so, Israel, the Jewish ethno-state, Jewish supremacist ethno-state, it's an ethno-state, again, Adolf Hitler's wet dream, is doing the worst shit that we have seen since the Nazis. Full stop. Now, I don't think it's gotten as bad as what the Nazis have done yet. But what I have said repeatedly is that there is no end in sight. You know what I mean? Like, again, imagine if the Nazis had 70 years to do the Holocaust. Whoa! Imagine the devastation. And Israel has been doing horrible ass shit for 70 years. And they're ramping up into a new phase. And we don't really know how long this phase is going to last. They could be going at this for years until they literally expunge every Palestinian who's ever lived from planet Earth. And that's their stated goal. So again, is it possible that there's a rise of anti-Semitism? Maybe. Genuine actual anti-Semitism. Maybe. I'm open to that. But if you're a Jewish person who doesn't feel safe because Israel's under attack or whatever, you're a fucking moron. You're a loser. If you support Israel, you are a loser, fucking moron fascist, okay? I saw this poll. In fact, let me go look for it. Let me go look for this real quick. Doing some live. I don't give a fuck about Americans. I don't give a fuck about Americans. I typed in Israelis, and Google is telling me like, oh, here's some polls in America. Did I ask for American polls? Did I ask for American polls? I don't remember. Let me do Israelis in Israel. God, Google is unusable now. So it took me about 15 fucking years to find this fucking poll. So I just want to like blog about that for a moment. For those of you that don't know, Google, I'm not sure about other search websites, but Google I know has been verified to change when you type something into the search bar, they will literally change what you type when it comes to displaying what information you get. So like it will say in the search box, like I look Israeli war support, polling on Israelis in Israel, right? And it will, I don't know what it changes to, but it will internally change to like commonly used keywords like Israel poll or some shit. And in this instance, I had to scroll through like 7,000 pages. When I say that, I mean like 7 pages, to find an actual poll of Israelis in Israel. Like, even though I'm like the search result says Israeli in Israel poll, it takes 7 fucking years to get into, like, it's just America. What does America think? What does Germany think? What does fucking France think? I don't give a fuck about France. Did I ask like French poll on his? No, I asked Israel. All right, so I just want to point that out. But I did see this poll a few weeks ago, and I want to talk about it. I apologize that this website, you know, I have ad blockers on, so like look at this fucking shit. But this is from Time. New opinion polls just released from the Israel Democracy Institute. That's really funny that they call it a democracy. Yeah. If you're a certain skin color, if you're a certain religion, not allowed to vote. Only democracy in the Middle East. Hell yeah, brother. And Tel Aviv University Peace Index indicate that Israeli attitudes toward the Israeli-Palestinian conflict are more hawkish than at any other point in recent memory. Just to be clear, I actually spent like 5 to 10 minutes looking for this. So whatever train of thought I was on, like before the cut, that's just gone. I'm sorry. You know, but let's keep going. Both surveys were conducted in the aftermath of October 7. 600 people each, sampled approximately 600 people each. There are 2 polls. The polls are a part of a series conducted blah, blah, blah. Despite thousands of protesters gathering at Tel Aviv to demand the release of hostages held by Hamas, only 10% of Israeli Jews in the Israel Democracy Institute poll said they would support a pause in fighting in order to exchange hostages. Now, again, that's just a pause. Only 10% of Israeli Jews, at least according to this poll, support a pause. Now, as we know, a pause technically did occur. Israel violated the conditions of the pause several times, and then they just started killing a bunch of people for no reason again. But only 10% of people in Israel are like, let's take a break from the genocide. Like, we know there's a genocide. We know there's ethnic cleansing. We know we're specifically targeting people because of their race and religion. Let's keep doing all that. But let's take a break. Take 5, you know? So I just want to point that out. I don't exactly remember what I was talking about so much. But again, that there's this, like, giant fucking anti-Semitism is on the rise. I personally don't believe it. I think anti-Semitism is real. I think it does exist. And I think it could theoretically be getting worse. But I haven't really seen any actual evidence of that. I really haven't. And then also, you have to factor in that Israelis in Israel want to mass slaughter and completely eradicate entire groups of people from planet Earth. So again, we live in fucked upville. We live in shithole town. And it's fucking crazy. Like, whatever it is, you like, if you think Palestinians are fucking animals or whatever, I mean, like, you're just you're fucked up in the head. You fall for propaganda really fucking easily. I keep seeing a lot of people go like, Egypt doesn't want them. That means all of them are bad. That means 2 million, average age is 16. 2 million people deserve the death penalty because Egypt doesn't want to increase their population by like 15% overnight because Israel wants to commit a genocide. Like that, people, and they'll say that as evidence as to why Israel needs to kill 2 million people. Well, yeah, Egypt doesn't want them. Like, do you listen to your fucking self? Egypt doesn't want them. So therefore they all deserve to die? Are you fucking joking? But again, people are fucking stupid. People are fucking stupid. Not just in Israel, not just in the United States, not just on planet Earth. Well, I mean, I guess just on planet Earth for now. But like, fuck me. People in my audience, I had people, oh, did you know that, Egypt doesn't want 2 million extra civilians overnight? Oh. And? Like, I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? So, like, what's currently going on? Israel is committing a genocide that we haven't seen since World War II in Nazi Germany. You say, hey, that's fucked up. Someone responds with, but Egypt doesn't want them. What? Again, dumb fuck shit for brains. If you're saying that shit, read a book. Read a book, asshole. And you know who I'm talking to. There's a couple, I'm not calling anyone out specifically. I've had like 5 or 6 like people like posting comments on like all of my Israel videos that are like, Egypt doesn't want them. I just pwned you in the internet battlefield of ideas by telling you that Egypt doesn't want people, and so that means killing 2 million people's fine. Because Egypt doesn't want them. Do you listen to yourself? I mean, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. But I know, I keep talking about this because this shit's fucking insane to me. Like, reading the news, I feel like, is causing me to experience psychosis because it's like, do I really live in a world where the excuse and reason provided for killing so far 25,000 innocent people and displacing 1.8 million people, 1.8 million people have lost their homes? And the reason for that's okay because Egypt doesn't have the fucking capacity to integrate 2 million people overnight? I live in this world where that's like a talking point people use. Like, it drives me insane. It makes me question whether or not any of this is real. Like, I'm not even joking with you. Like, I don't know, man. Like, to realize that fundamentally so many people are just fucking stupid, it really hurts my brain. It really does. It causes me intense psychic damage. Now, I know a lot of people will say it's just a part of growing up. It's a part of becoming older and wiser as you realize that 99.9999999% of people are fucking scumbags. Are we supposed to just be okay with that? And if everyone is telling me, everyone, not like just in media, like all that kind of stuff, just like memes, not like memes in the internet sense, but in the actual definitional sense, like over generations that are like, one part of getting wiser is realizing, blah. And you're okay with that? With the fact that only 10% of Israelis want a pause, not just to stop the genocide, but like take a vacation. Like shut down Auschwitz for a week. That's fine. But then fire it right back up. Like, what? And then I keep saying this and motherfuckers are like, Egypt doesn't want them. And it's also like, we need to have the conversation of like, what the fuck? Egypt doesn't want them. Why is it all on Egypt? Like, Egypt is not the wealthiest country in the world. Let's be honest here, right? Could they integrate 2 million people overnight? And would that not destroy the economy completely? Probably. I think that they could do it. Absolutely. But also, I mean, it's like, why Egypt? Why can't we just, and also, maybe we should talk about why are Gazans being forced out of the Gaza Strip? Egypt doesn't want them. Great. They don't need them. They already, they live in Gaza. Why? But again, the propaganda melts people's brains. If you're in a world where you are seeing Holocaust 3.0, the skip 2.0, it's that intense. And you're thinking, well, Egypt doesn't want them. And that's a mechanism for you to shut your brain down on the subject. I mean, holy fuck. And just being surrounded by these people on the internet really fucks with me. It really does. Why are people who are otherwise rational human beings, when it comes to Palestine, it's, oh yeah, fuck them, kill them all. And I'm supposed to just be okay with that. I'm supposed to just be like, well, I disagree. But I will fight for the death of you for you to say that. Free speech, brother. What? That's not a disagreement. I'm sorry. The mass slaughter of innocent people is not in the realm of agreement or disagreement. This isn't sports. This isn't what's your favorite video game. This isn't what's your favorite fucking song in Mega Man X6. This is fucking millions of people losing everything they've ever had in their entire lives, including most of their family. And people's default robot NPC response, Egypt doesn't want them. I am an informed citizen. Yes, I am. Do you fucking listen to you motherfucker? And this is it reminds me of a year and a half ago when Russia invaded Ukraine, and then motherfuckers are they're ethnic Russians. What? Okay, so Russia goes into Ukraine, kills thousands of people for no reason, bombs hospitals and schools, and that's okay because some people are ethnic Russians. Do you fucking listen to yourself? You sound like a fucking moron. You sound like you're on fucking drugs. Well, actually, you don't sound like you're on drugs. You should be probably trying some drugs. They might open your fucking mind. I do not endorse drug use, by the way. It's bad for you. And I get that same vibe here. Okay, so killing thousands and thousands of innocent people, bombing hospitals, killing babies, mass slaughtering, 2 million people losing their homes forever is good because Egypt exists. Mass slaughtering innocent people in Ukraine is good because some people in Ukraine are ethnically Russian? Y'all motherfuckers are insane. I'm sorry. You people are fucking crazy. You're just crazy. You're just fucked up in the head. And the sooner you leave planet Earth, the better for everyone else, honestly. Because we really, really on this planet do not need motherfuckers that are so fucking stupid that they can endorse a genocide. Because Egypt can't afford, at least in their own estimation, to overnight take 2 million people in. Killing 2 million people is fine because Egypt cannot take them and absorb them overnight. Killing thousands and thousands of people in Ukraine is fine because some people that live there are ethnically Russian. I'm ethnically Polish. I've never fucking been to Poland. I don't give a fuck about Poland. Fuck Poland. I don't give a shit. A fucking plurality of my DNA is Polish. Now imagine if fucking Poland invaded the United States and killed millions of people because they want to fucking bring me back to Poland or some shit. What? Bitch, I don't fucking care about you. Most of the ethnic Russians in Ukraine, they live in Ukraine for a motherfucking reason. They're not, if they wanted to go to Russia, they had 30 motherfucking years to go do so. And they haven't. Probably because they don't want to, right? And it's just this whole thing, this way people can deflect genocide and the Holocaust with things that are just not even related. It's more logical for you to say something along the lines of all Palestinians are animals because of like genetics or some shit. Like that's fucked up, but at least there's like a logical through line there, you know, that I can like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get the fucking Egypt one. I really don't. That one broke my brain. I'm sorry to just go in on that. But like, this whole thing is really blowing my fucking ability to like actually cement myself in reality, because like, the idea that I need to acknowledge, yes, reality is living on a world where 99% of people are bloodthirsty psychopaths. I don't want to be in that world. I really don't. So like, I don't know, man. Like, this is fucking with my head. So I just want to say that to all the fucking Israel genocide supporters. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, you can fucking say, yeah, Hamas's attack on Israel or whatever was bad. That's fine to say that. But to deflect from the fact that Israel is doing Holocaust 7.0, you're just fucking crazy. You're fucking insane. And I was going to say I feel sorry for you, but I don't. I don't. I hope your life is miserable. I really do, because you're a terrible fucking scumbag. You really are. If you support Russia's invasion of Ukraine, you're fucking trash. You're garbage. If you support Israel's invasion of Gaza, you're trash. You're garbage. If you support Germany's invasion of Poland, you're trash. You're garbage. Go fuck yourself. You're just garbage. You're easily manipulated, gullible little sheep. You're garbage. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. All of you motherfuckers that are watching, and there's a couple of them. There's a, you know, and I know my regular audience or whatever, the people that aren't insane on this issue are like, hell yeah, but also can we move on now? But it's like, I really need to very definitively say, if you support illegal invasions of other countries, there's this thing going on with Venezuela right now. I haven't read into it. For next week or whatever, I'm going to try to read into it more. But if you support that kind of shit, I mean, especially what Israel is doing, like what Israel is doing is eons worse than what Russia did in Ukraine and is doing in Ukraine. I'm just being honest with you. So like, if you're saying Russia is committing a genocide in Ukraine, which I would agree with, and then you don't say that about Israel and Gaza, then you're just a fucking idiot. You're just a fucking goddamn sheep. What does my government say? I am a free thinker. Let me go to government.gov to get my talking points so that I can be a free thinker. Like, anyway, because if that wasn't enough, we're going to be talking about COVID next. So check this one out. So last year, I was talking about the 15%. That was the vaccination rate last year. 15% of Americans got the COVID vaccine. What does that mean? 85% are effectively anti-vaxxers. Now, in this article, it does reveal a percentage. But I want to play a game with the audience. If you're watching this live, post in the fucking chat room or whatever. Leave a comment if you're watching it afterward, and then like reply to your comments or whatever to see over or under 15%. Last year was 15%. I think it was like 17 or 18 at the 6-month mark. But by that point, the virus mutated and, you know. But again, so over or under. Just think about it. Leave your comment, whatever. How, like, I should also say 80 or 90 or 95% of Americans are anti-vaxxers. RFK tier, Joe Rogan tier fucking idiots. Is that 85, 95, or 75%-ish are Joe Rogan super fans when it comes to vaccines? Well, let's read this headline here. A vicious cycle. Low COVID-19 vaccination rates lead to fewer doses at pediatric offices. Now some parents can't find it. Now, when I was a kid, I experienced extremely lethal doses of gaslighting. I was constantly being told to my parents that they would do anything for me, that they would die for me or whatever, while they would also be abusing me in the same fucking day, in the same, like, hour. I was, going to school during, like, the No Child Left Behind, and teachers were talking about, we gotta help our kids. And I was systematically forced to quit school because I was chronically ill as a kid, and they said, we don't believe your doctor's notes, so you either get an F or you got to go to school, summer school. I'm not fucking going to summer school, jackass, and I'm not going to fucking 15th grade. So none of those things are happening. They forced me to quit while constantly being telling me, like, oh, we try our best or whatever, right? And so we live in a society that's, everyone's like, the kids, we got to protect the kids. Right? And we're sending kids to fucking prisons where they get lethal doses of virus on a daily basis. Test scores. IQ. Now, again, I got a lot of problems with IQ, but literacy rates in children. And you got motherfuckers out there saying, lockdown. Now, there never was a lockdown. I have a question for you. Have you ever been to prison? Do you know anyone that's ever been to prison? Ask them. During lockdown, what did you do? Did you go to Wendy's during lockdown? Wendy's? What? No, we were stuck in our cell. That's what they would say. During lockdown, did you go for a walk through the park? Park? What? We were locked down. But Americans are so fucking stupid. They don't, again, most Americans read and write at like a 3rd grade level, so they don't know what lockdown means. They think lockdown means that the hair salon is closed for 2 weeks. That's a lockdown? And so Americans are so fucking stupid that we sent our kids to schools to get infected with a virus that destroys their immune system over and over and over again. And now we can't even vaccinate the kids because Joe Rogan and RFK Jr. have won the fucking war. And again, last year, it was 85% of Americans are staunch anti-vaxxers. Now, you may say, hyperbole. Give me a break. Last year, days after Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines were authorized for emergency use in children as young as 6 months, Laura Lebar's Children's Pediatric Office held a large drive-through vaccine event at a local amusement park. It was beautifully organized, and we just drove right in. Kids never even got out of their car seats. Now, that's interesting. Now, again, I have a lot of problems with the mRNA vaccines. I highly recommend, if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, maybe turn off the Joe Rogan and also hit up Novavax. Just throwing that one out there. This fall, wanting to get her kids the updated COVID-19 vaccine that was released in mid-September, she called the same pediatrician's office thinking it would be a piece of cake, but a recorded message informed her, if you are calling about a pediatric COVID-19 vaccine, we will not be offering this service. I had a pretty easy time up to that point finding vaccines for my kids, Labar said. With the government rollout, their pediatrician had them almost instantly. During the COVID-19 public health emergency, coronavirus vaccines were purchased by the federal government, distributed, blah, blah, blah. Now, doctors must pay for the shots up front, and low uptake of the updated vaccine has led to some pediatricians to skip ordering it, sometimes making shots difficult. So they're saying no one's going to get the vaccine. Fuck. My apologies for that. My whole thing fucked up. As of November 25, less than 3% of children 6 months to 4 years and 10% of children 12 to 17 have received the new shot. Now, Donald Trump is not someone who should be believed. But most people actually believe him when it comes to kids being immune from every virus in the world. Most Americans, seemingly 97%, 90 to 97% to be fair, believe Donald Trump when it comes to their kids' health and safety. In the country where most people would say, I'd die for my kids! I would do anything for my children. 90 to 97% of them have said, Donald Trump, I trust him when it comes to my kids' health and safety. Crazy ass shit. Wow. Weekly survey of parents by the agency finds that 44% say they definitely or probably will not get the shot for their children. I have another article here. That I want to... This is just... fucking... What is it? S word. Supplemental. Supplemental article here. Also from CNN. The threat of respiratory illnesses is underway, the CDC director says, and hospitalizations are on the rise. So the CDC director, whom I like the name Murder Mandy, has made it her job to convince as many Americans as possible to repeatedly infect themselves, destroy their immune systems, and die. Because we live in 1984 world where the CDC's sole purpose is to do the exact opposite of what's in its name. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, that is the exact opposite of their actual goals. And it's all a propaganda game. You know, how can we convince Americans to go do stupid ass Thanksgiving shit because that supports the economy, buying a bunch of stupid Christmas presents for a bunch of fucking family members that you fucking hate anyway. That's good for the economy. Flying around like a fucking moron during a pandemic. It's good for the economy. Going to a family gathering during a pandemic. It's good for the economy. So the CDC is like, fuck that shit. Who cares if you die young? Who cares if you get fucking infected over and over again and your immune system gives out and you die from a common cold? I don't give a shit. As long as you went to Thanksgiving, as long as you went to Black Friday, as long as you did Christmas shopping, that's all we care about at the CDC. So I want to read some of this here as we get to the percentage rates for adults. Dr. Mandy Cohen, director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, updated a congressional subcommittee Thursday about cases of respiratory illness in the U.S. due to 3 viruses: flu, COVID, and respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. RSV season is in full swing, Cohen told the House Energy and Commerce subcommittee. Flu season is just beginning across most of the country. Wait a second. Hold the phone. I thought we were experiencing the summer flu all summer. Don't you remember, like, your friends and family? Oh, I got the summer flu. It was all over headlines and media. Summer flu. Summer flu. Watch out for the summer flu. And now the CDC director, who has also been hopping in on the summer flu bullshit, is telling Congress flu season's just starting. Oh, right. It wasn't the summer flu. It was just COVID and you're all fucking stupid. That's what it was. Did you go to a pride parade during the middle of an airborne pandemic and then you felt sick after? Not the summer flu. You permanently destroyed your immune system because you're a fucking moron. Did you go to a 4th of July barbecue and catch the summer flu? Well, it wasn't the summer flu. It was a immune system and brain degradation virus that destroys your ability to think, remember, and taste, smell, and so forth, and also makes you more susceptible to death of other viruses. Oh, did you go to one of those epic protests or strikes without a mask on? Did you feel like you had the summer flu afterward? Well, actually, it wasn't the summer flu. You just are a fucking moron and you should have been wearing a mask in an airborne fucking pandemic and you believe in magic. And guess what? Magic isn't real and now you have a permanent disability that you probably don't even know about yet because you're also really stupid and you're not watching this show. Now, I know. I sound a little crazy to some people. Some people actually believe that getting HIV makes them healthier. Some people actually believe it. Getting a virus that destroys your immune system, it's actually good for you. That's what some people believe. So if I'm crazy, all right, that's fine. Whatever. But let's keep going. Flu season is just beginning across most of the country, though accelerating fast. And while we're seeing relatively low levels of COVID, COVID is still the primary cause of new respiratory hospitalizations and deaths. So even the CDC is like, yeah, COVID is way more of a concern than the flu. But I thought COVID was the flu. We are seeing a lot of RSV, particularly in the southern part of the country. So we're near peak is what I would say for RSV. We're also at the beginning of flu season. We're actually having a pretty, what I would say, typical flu season. We do expect a lot more flu cases over the course of December and January. COVID is also rising, blah, blah, blah. COVID is still the respiratory virus that is putting the most number of people in the hospital and taking their lives. Interesting. So she says that to Congress. But when she's doing PR, she's like, take your mask off, go to Thanksgiving, bro. And motherfuckers believe these guys when it comes to their health and safety. Motherfuckers actually trust these people when it comes to health and motherfucking safety. Should a person get sick, it's also critical to be tested and get treatment, as most antiviral drugs are most effective when given early in an infection. They say that, and yet half the country doesn't even really report cases at all. Most of the country doesn't even report like American citizens. You know, if they take an at-home test, they don't report it online. Most people don't even take tests anymore. So they're saying one thing. Well, actually, they're saying 5,000 different things. You know, if you look at Murder Mandy's press conference from a month ago, 2 months ago, she was telling you, go to Thanksgiving, book your plane tickets, go to concerts. Gotta live your life! Gotta live your life! And now we get to the golden percentage here. More than a third of adults and children have gotten their flu shots this year, according to the latest data from the CDC, pin in that. But only about 16% of adults and 6% of children have gotten the new COVID-19 vaccine. Wait a second. So the COVID virus is an order of magnitude, maybe 10, maybe 20x as dangerous for your health as the flu. Now, I don't want to get the flu either. You know what I mean? But okay. And they're not giving us a percentage for the flu shot. They're just saying more than a third. So let's just assume 35%. Could be 40, could be 4. Let's just assume 35% are like, I'll get the flu vaccine, but not the COVID vaccine. That's like driving a motherfucking motorcycle recklessly at 90 miles per hour, but it's okay because you're wearing knee pads. No helmet. No, like, fucking full body armor, neck brace, anything like that. Nothing. I don't think any of that would help you if you're just fucking crashing at 90, but that's like you're a fucking soldier in a war. Right? And you have your helmet on, but no body armor? That's America for you. That's America for you. So the answer to my question from earlier, about the same. About the same. But we also have to factor in that all the vaccines are not made equally. The mRNA vaccines have been shown to not keep up well with the mutating virus. They worked pretty decently at the very beginning of the vaccine program. But once the virus started mutating heavily because Americans are fucking stupid and everyone else in the world is fucking stupid and loves getting COVID over and over, the mRNA technology is not that good at keeping up with the mutations. And so how many of the people who got the vaccine got Novavax, which is the most efficient of the vaccine, the most efficacious of the vaccines? Now, of that 16% that say that they got the vaccine, how many of them think that the vaccine makes them Superman and that they can just get infected with COVID over and over again and then not take any health or immune system damage? I saw a poll recently that said like 38% of Americans wear masks. And I don't believe that. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't believe that poll. I really don't. Because if 16% of adults are getting vaccinated, and a poll is trying to tell me that more than double the amount of people that get vaccines wear masks, and every time I leave the house, I don't see anyone wearing a mask, I think they just lied on the phone. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm fucking thinking. And also, what kind of mask are they wearing? Right? Like, motherfuckers are out there still walking around with surgical masks. Because education in this country is dead. I'm kind of just ranting and raving here. Just bear with me. But the COVID thing really fucks with me. It really does. Because there's motherfuckers, to bring in the Israel thing. Did you know that Israel refused to allow Gazans to be vaccinated against COVID-19? And that the reason that was stated was because they want to let disease proliferate and weaken the population. That's what they said in internal conversations in the Israeli government. They purposefully packed Gazans in a dense area and during a pandemic refused to allow them to have medicine so that they would all get COVID over and over and get disabled at a larger rate and be weaker so that they could not actually fight back. And now, 2 years out of the vaccine rollout, they're going in to finish the job and exterminate all of them. And there are many leftists that are like, oh yeah, Israel's genocide of Gaza, bad. But COVID killing people is good. Now again, on this show, I am controversial. I say death, bad. Purposeful death, killing other people for no reason, really bad. Genocide, pretty horrible. That's my morally consistent take. But we live in fucked upville. We live in shit show world where only 16% of adults... Now, again, the one about kids is really fucking with me because kids theoretically... Now, an adult can say, oh, the COVID vaccine's too expensive, I can't afford it, whatever. But children are theoretically... they get their shit paid for, right? And 6% of kids have gotten the COVID-19 vaccine. Kids, the ones that are the most exposed to the virus going to school every day, which is where viruses proliferate the most, are the ones that are the least vaccinated. And I'm supposed to believe that like 60 or 70% of Americans support universal health care? You want me to believe that? Now call me a pessimist, whatever. I believe Americans are fundamentally too fucking dumb to do anything about the crises that we're facing. They're just... And we can argue about how much is their fault. We can argue about the system creating conditions to make people stupid. Schools teach you a bunch of disinformation and lies so that you don't question authority as much. You can talk about how much is their fault versus how much were they programmed. But ultimately, I believe, and this may be naive on my part, I believe every human being has the ability, the capacity to actually break from the propaganda cycle. I think it's possible for every single human being. Now, we live in fucked upville where 90% of people, they believe in one genocide or the other, right? Whether it be the Israeli genocide of Gazans, the Russian genocide of Ukrainians, the fucking, I guess the World Economic Forum genocide of people when it comes to COVID, right? I'm against all of them. I'm saying, oh yeah, killing innocent people, probably not good. You ask any leftist, they're like, yeah, Israel, man, they're bad. But Russia, I love Russia, man. Or they'll be like, Russia's pretty bad, man. Israel's pretty bad. But you know what? COVID's awesome, man. Kill all the old people. Disabled people deserve to die, bro. Communism. Woo! Like, there is no such thing as a left-wing movement. It's not real. I think Americans are really fucking stupid. The only way I could foresee a future in where things aren't this horrible is if we get really lucky and some famous person decides to just like go crazy and start telling people the truth for once, but they're like, a Taylor Swift level of influence, and they're able to like convince people en masse to believe in things that are true. Now, I don't think that anyone can convince people en masse to become critical thinkers, but people are sheep. They just believe whatever authority tells them to. So I think the only light at the end of this tunnel is that we can maybe foresee a scenario where like a Twitch streamer or some shit, or a musician or a fucking actor convinces the sheep to do things that are actually good for them and good for everyone around them. That's the only light at the end of the tunnel I can see, because I fundamentally believe, and you can say I'm too rash or whatever, I fundamentally believe most Americans are too dumb for any of this. They're just so fucking stupid. They're too selfish. They're too fucking dumb. They don't have the skills required. Again, most Americans can only read and write at a third grade level. I don't think you can convince most Americans to actually think critically. I don't think you can. And I wish you could. I really wish you could. But I'm seeing what's going on with Gen Z, Gen Z, I should say. And the shit that Gen Z believes is, they're more often than millennials, X, and boomers to be on the right side of things. But they still believe in some crazy ass fucked up shit. Like, again, getting COVID over and over is good for you. That's a lot of Gen Z believes that, because we got to go party, man. I saw on TV that people my age like to party, and I know that there's an airborne pandemic going on. Well, actually, I don't know that because I'm fucking stupid, but I'm going to go party because that's like, that's what we do. We're kids, man. So, you know what? And then anyone younger than Generation Z, their brains are going to be fucking turned into mashed potatoes from getting COVID over and 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 over again. Right? So I don't believe in the bias, the magical thinking of the arc of the universe bends toward justice. That's some stupid ass fucking garbage if I've ever heard it. I don't believe that young people are always going to be more progressive than their parents' generation. I don't believe in that fucking shit. I just don't believe in any of this. I believe we're fucked. Not in the good dick way, just to be very clear. And the best thing we can do is just try to enjoy our time on this fucking planet before everything gets nuked by like fucking one of the random psychos that have the big red button. And fundamentally, Americans are too stupid to do a fucking general strike. Americans are too stupid to vote for politicians that don't want to kill them. Americans are too fucking stupid to take a vaccine for a deadly virus. Americans are too fucking stupid to wear clothes that protect them from a virus during an airborne pandemic. Americans are so fucking dumb. There's really nothing we can do. Maybe I'm just depressed and that's clouding my ability to see positive things in the world. But like, I just don't see it. I just don't see where any good is coming out of this. I remember at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, I was reading a lot about the Spanish flu pandemic and how the flu as it exists now is a result of them declaring victory on the pandemic 100 years ago when victory was not met. And then they just let the flu kill everybody. And they've just been letting the flu kill thousands of people every year since then. And that's normal. We call it flu season. And I remember thinking, I hope that doesn't happen with COVID. I hope people learn from history. But that's one thing about being, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a historian, though that is the angle I lean toward at this point. with the stuff that I read and research. But like, being someone that knows history and like, again, look at Israel and Nazi Germany. Like, Nazi Israel is committing more heinous shit right now, over longer periods of time, and they're planning on getting even crazier than Nazi Germany did. We don't learn from history. We really don't. We really fucking don't learn from history as a species. And the last pandemic that we had, they declared victory by doing nothing, by holding a parade. And then they said, well, we won. Everyone kept getting sick. Everyone kept dying. And they're like, but we won. And now we're just doing that again. And there's not a single real, powerful, even culturally powerful institution that is there to say, oh yeah, declaring victory against a virus doesn't actually change the situation. But most Americans believe in magic. Like, Americans believe in prayer. Like, 70% of Americans believe in prayer. Like, they believe that if you go like, Jesus Christ, please, do something for my daughter-in-law getting cancer or whatever. They believe that that's actually going to do something. They actually believe it. So no wonder motherfuckers go out there, we won on COVID, we won. No wonder they actually believe that that does anything. They believe in angels. They believe in prayer. Motherfuckers who believe that, like, we thank you, Jesus, for this glorious meal or whatever is going to keep them safe, are out there directing policy on health and safety when it comes to viruses. And I'm supposed to just pretend like that's normal. Everyone keeps wanting me to stop talking about COVID because, man, don't you want to talk about the Republican drama, man? Don't you want to talk about, like, whatever political commentator said something crazy? Like, man, why are you doing all these COVID videos? Don't you want to talk about, like, Ben Shapiro more, man? Like, who? Honestly, are you fucking 12? Are you 12 years old? Really? Really? I mean, like, what are we doing here in this world? I don't know, man. This shit fucking drives me crazy. I'm just being honest. It drives me insane. Just thinking about how fucked everything is drives me fucking insane. It really, really fucking does. And I don't really know how to cope with that. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know there's a lot of other people that don't know how to cope with it either. And I personally, I don't want to live on a planet. I'm 27. I plan on living for a long time. But I really don't want to live with you people. I really don't. Like, if you could beam me to, like, a fucking Mars, or, like, just better yet, fucking in my sleep one day, beam my consciousness to, like, a fucking Matrix-like simulation where I live in a world that doesn't have people as fucked up as this, I would take it. I would take it in a fucking heartbeat, because fuck you people. Fuck you people. Okay? Maybe I wouldn't take it, because that does sound kind of scary now that I think about it. But, like, that's just how fucking angry I am at this group that we call human beings. I can't believe this shit. I really can't. I really can't. I mean, I can. I do believe that Americans are this stupid, but I don't want to. I don't want to believe that. I really don't want to. Like, you may be shocked at this, but I really don't want to believe that most people are just fucking garbage, useless fucking slime. I don't want to believe that. I just want people to take care of themselves. I want people to take care of each other. I want people to look out for each other. I want people to care about one another. And that's just not the world we live in. So, I don't know. But I'm doing this news show And the reason why I talk about stuff like COVID in Israel a lot, now I feel like Israel gets more coverage than COVID in left-wing spaces, but as I know my audience here, typically they watch other left-wing shows, and I know that there's a media blackout on COVID. Everyone wants to go when it comes to COVID. There's a media blackout in left-wing communications. If you mention COVID, people will be like, ooh, why'd you mention that? How are we going to go to VidCon if you keep mentioning COVID? People might actually get scared. They might not want to go to our concerts and our fucking live shows and go buy our shit online or whatever if you mention that viruses exist and are real. There's a media blackout on this, so I feel compelled and obligated to keep talking about it. And I understand that like people that watch my show, they might think, oh, this bitch only talks about one thing. And, you know, I like to keep half the shows talking about other stuff and half the shows talking about COVID at this point. But it really is the most important thing that we're facing on a daily, now again, say what you want about the shit that's going on, the genocide in Gaza, right? If you're an American, COVID affects you way more than Gaza. It just does. I'm just being honest with you. Like, the idea that Americans are so fucking stupid that they just don't care about themselves. Like, they're so dumb that the selfish desire to just survive is lost on most people. Like, that's how fucking stupid they are. The innate desire to not want to kill yourself is suppressed in 90% of the population. I don't know. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. It really is fucking crazy. And again, people love, you know, they keep asking me, a lot of people keep saying, like, cover some other stuff. I want to hear what you think about this. I had run a daily politics show for several years. I have spoken about almost every fucking subject that there is to speak about. I've done entire year worth of material just really focusing on, like, police. So, like, you want to go see what I have to say about that stuff? I've already said it. Go back and look. You know, maybe it's not indexed as well as I would like. But it's like, in this current time period, in the year 2023, in December 2023, this is the most important thing to talk about. And if you're not talking about it, if you're not talking about the genocide in Gaza, if you're not talking about the genocide of COVID, what the fuck are you talking about? Ooh, what is the Daily Wire up to? Ooh, what did the streamer say? Haha. Ooh, what's going on? The debates! The debates! I mean, it's just fucking insane. It's just insane. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I know I keep saying it, but it drives me insane. It makes me feel like I'm in some form of psychosis, right? Like, because it's a cognitive dissonance in my head. Like, I simultaneously really, 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 really do not want to. I really, really do not want to believe that most human beings are just fucking trash. But all the evidence that I'm seeing points in that direction. So, I don't know, man. That scares the shit out of me. But anyway, that's the end of the show. Thank you all for watching the Depression Hour. I don't know how long, maybe Depression Hour and a half, whatever. I don't know how long this one was. Welcome to the Depression Hour. And I will say, you know, this show may be depressing. You may not want to watch it because I'm so goddamn depressing all the time. But also, again, this is how I keep myself sane to any degree that I am sane. This is how I stay sane, is by talking about this stuff. If I were just running on loop all of this stuff that I say to you every week in my head and I had no release valve for it, yikes. I don't want to be in that position. So I do have a show here. I will be using my show. You may be hearing Max the dog making noises. I will be using the show, most importantly, as a drainage valve for all the things that go through my head. And right now, COVID is the most important thing going on. Like, imagine this, right? There are people going to the hospital because like they broke their ankle or whatever. They're laying in the hospital. They get COVID because the nurses are disease factories. Fuck nurses. Fuck doctors. I'm not all of them. Not all of them. And then they get COVID and then they die in the hospital of COVID because they broke their ankle. How many horror stories do you need to read like that? We don't live in a world where hospitals truly exist anymore. We really don't. You go to the hospital for any reason and you have to weigh, is this worth getting COVID and not having an immune system in 10 years? Is it? Is it? Now, I'm not saying if you get fucking really ill that you shouldn't go to a hospital. But what I'm saying is, isn't it fucked up that hospitals in America at this point get you more unhealthy going into them than you were going into them? Now, again, they might fix your broken ankle, but what good is that if you die of long COVID in 2.5 years? What good is that if you die from cardiac arrest because you got a COVID infection that causes cardiac arrest? So that shit fucking, the idea that like, I would love to get regular health screenings. I'm not doing that during a pandemic because doctors and nurses no longer believe in viruses. They don't believe in germs anymore. And then so that's another aspect. Like, I'm going to trust a doctor on like a health screening. Like, let's say I want to get a cancer screening. I'm going to trust what they have to say on this when they don't believe in germs. Really? Like, what? You know, and that. So anyway, it is a really big problem. If you're a so-called leftist and you believe in universal health care and you also believe that everyone should be getting COVID 19 times a year, I got a bridge to sell you, Jack. In fact, I got 20 bridges. And in fact, I'll give you 20 bridges for the price of 18. That's 2 free bridges. Order now.